Okay, there you
Cheers.
go. Woo! Okay, here's what about it. It's finally Wednesday, and we are back with another dose of color and wine for you guys.
Yeah, and not necessarily in that order.
So today we are talking about everyone going gray.
And I'm hearing some of the craziest stuff. Like I read an article the other day that said Walmart has officially said that the next run or the thing that they're running out of in a big way is hair color because people can't get to the salons. Their roots are, 3 or 4 inches long. They're freaking out. And that's one group of people. And we celebrate you. And they go and get their hair stuff and do it themselves. There's another group of people, and this just is blowing me away, but I'm seeing all these pictures posted online where I belong to a few gray groups. As you can imagine, there's a reason for that, or going gray or silver, whatever. So I've been seeing women who are shaving their heads. They realize that they've got the gray coming in, and they are literally shaving their heads and then showing pictures of themselves with their hair grown out about an inch, maybe an inch and a half, totally gray. And, I applaud that group too, because that takes some courage, and they're out there doing it and they're looking fantastic. So we were thinking, well, we need to address this gray issue. We did it before. But the timing right now is critical for people to understand. If you're going gray, you might need to change your colors a little bit.
And I think another thing that we wanted to really focus on with this wine about it was the people that are going gray. We wanted to make sure you knew what were the best shades for your gray, because there's so many different types of gray, whether you're a salt and pepper gray or one of those all white grays. I mean, yeah, there's like that mid gray where some people have like different colors of hairs. Like I've noticed that some grays have each strand is a different shade of gray. So we're trying to also address all the different grays, because there's not just one gray.
And when people talk about it, they say, oh, you've gone gray or whatever. But gray is an entire world within itself, because you've got shades from white to black and grays in the middle, and that basically means that it's desaturated and you've lost your pigment, so you don't have color in there. But some people, as you pointed out in my hair sometimes, I still have hairs that are the color of your hair there in that blend. And so that whatever your gray blend is, there's a color group that's for you.
Now, and when you first started gray, was it just like some hairs coming in here and there? Or did you kind of how did you go gray?
Well, mine was an action of poverty, because I used to have my hair colored, and for the longest time, I would do highlights and whatever. And so I had hair the color of yours. And so I would do blonde highlights to kind of soften any roots that I would get. So I had that going on. And then I decided, why am I spending $200 every 6 weeks or so to disguise the gray, when clearly this is the color that nature intends me to be?
Yeah.
So, I just went for it. And, I have to say I had a lot of support. You. And I love it. I would never in a million years go back.
Yeah. Well, today we are talking all about the right colors that you should be wearing with your gray. So help from you to actually pick out. I was thinking, do you want to start with the grayish summers out there?
That's up to you. I do want to say hi to Trisha, Becky, and Deborah real quick. Hey.
All right. So I'm going to bring up our summer gray. So we were talking about all the different types of gray and trying to figure out how many grays there are. And we narrowed them down. We put them into 3 different groups. We have a spring gray. We have a winter gray.
I prefer to call the spring gray a warm gray. And ladies, remember, you can have some warmth in your hair without it looking brassy. I know that there's some women who have gray hair, gray to white hair, and we're trying to eliminate the brassiness oftentimes, but there's still going to be some warmth, some softness to it, along with your skin tone. So I like to call it warm gray.
And then the next one is our salt and pepper. So we have our winters, who are salt and peppers, and then we have our summer gray. So because you are a summer, I figured why not start with a summer gray?
Why not?
All right, so we have Sharon Osbourne, and she looks fabulous in her new look. Absolutely love her.
I do too. And people say that she looked years younger. And I want to point something out about Sharon Osbourne that I think everybody needs to realize. A lot of people say to me, well, when is it time to go gray? When should I go gray?
Mm-hmm.
And I tell them that one of the most important factors is when your hair color looks stark against your skin color. In other words, if your hair looks harsh and makes your skin tone look washed out, we need to make sure that we're dealing with having we do our gray then, or we do something that isn't harsh.
Mm-hmm.
And Sharon Osbourne was looking really harsh with that deep red against her skin tone. And now look at her skin tone.
What makes her a summer versus a winter or one of your warm grays?
Well, I think the way that you headlined this slide where you said grayish is, and many times when I'm looking at something, I say, well, if they were running away from a scene of a crime and you were describing that gray hair, would you say it was white? Would you say it was salt and pepper? Or would you say it was grayish? And in many cases, and mine included, if somebody were looking at me and I was running away, if I were running away from the scene of a crime, then they would say, oh yeah, our hair was grayish. And when something is grayish, I like to say that is a summer gray, because it's all over a little bit cooler and kind of a blend.
Mm-hmm. So we not only pulled some colors that we really love, but we also pulled some different shades, cosmetic shades that we have that would be available to anyone who is a grayish summer out there. So the lipstick and the blush that we have on Sharon Osbourne, we went with like this a little bit more of a plummy but pinky shade called Plum Sorbet. It's a beautiful shade, absolutely gorgeous on all summers out there. And I also went with this soft rose blush. You probably hear us talk about it all the time. I am like a lover of cedar rose, and soft rose is like the cool shade that mirrors cedar rose. So they're both just give you that radiant look to you almost instantly. So if you are a cool season out there, either summer or winter, and you want just kind of a natural flush, you will love soft rose blush. And I do have a couple other lipsticks up at the top, right? We have Frosted Watermelon, Mocha Latte. The reason I pulled both of those shades was because I know that they are your favorites. You're probably yeah. Last week I think you wore Mocha Latte, and then this week I believe you're wearing Frosted Watermelon again. So I know you will.
Although I will wear Plum Sorbet from time to time. And I like it very much, but the Frosted Watermelon is a little brighter. When you get back on me, you'll see that sometimes you just want to have a little bit brighter lip. Oh, there I am. Hey. I just want to have a lip that's a little bit brighter, and this one's my bright.
I love a bright lip because you always tend to wear like a gray, or right now you're wearing like a black mixed with white. So, and I know you love gray as just a shade and a staple shade that you wear all the time. So I think it looks so good against a gray when you wear just a pop of color.
Right. But if we flip that and I'm wearing a turquoise or I'm wearing something with a lot of color, then I like to go with a more neutral lip. As for you, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly right. All right. So bringing back up Sharon, we also did another blush. It's a little bit richer in color, a little bit deeper, Sweet Appleberry blush. Gorgeous on all of our summers out there. I mean, it's not as light as Soft Rose, but it gives you a little bit more depth, and it has a bit of shimmer in it as well. So if you're somebody that just kind of wants that radiant effect, you'll get that with Sweet Appleberry blush.
The other thing I will say is, for me, the Sweet Appleberry tends to be a little more neutral on the neutral side, whereas the Soft Rose gives me a little bit of a cooler flush to my
We brought up 3 eyeshadows as well that summers. I think this is just in general, all of our anyone who has been a summer always gravitates towards these 3 shades: Rose Quartz, Polished Pewter, and Silver Lilac. Silver Lilac I love because if you're somebody that's trying to play up your eyes, Silver Lilac is perfect for that.
Silver lilac is my go-to. I will not. I have a couple of different kinds of makeup bags. Some, that I take to work when I'm getting ready for Wine About It, or to your house. It's my travel bag, and then I have it at my makeup counter where I'm doing my makeup. Silver lilac is a staple for anyone who has light hair with no red or gold highlights. You should definitely have it in your bag.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, love that shade. So gorgeous, and it really helps play up your eyes. Like whenever you wear that, your eyes just almost pop right out of your head.
Yeah, they do tend to bring it. I think as we age, certainly as our hair gets grayer, my eye color has gotten a little more subdued. And I think it's because we lose pigment everywhere. We lose pigment in our skin, we lose pigment in our hair, and we lose pigment in our iris. And that's just a natural part of becoming more mature. And so with this silver lilac, using the silver lilac against your eyes, or against my eyes anyway, it brings the color back to what I'd love to have it be. Mm-hmm. And that's why I love it so much.
Mm-hmm. And then also polished pewter gives that depth that all of those cooler seasons are looking for. I know being a warm season, I'm able to use things like chocolatey browns that are really rich and warm. But for somebody who's trying to bring their look together, polished pewter gives that dimension that you really want in an eyeshadow shade. And then rose quartz, your ultimate highlighting shade underneath the brow bone, the inner corner of your eye, just really helps lighten and lift your eye area.
And again, I think these are staples. We try to go with the things that are absolute essentials for putting together your look. And these three are the ones for anybody who has lighter hair, and with no red or gold highlights.
Mm-hmm. And if you talk to
everybody can wear.
Yeah, and if you talk to a summer out there, these are the shades that they will say they absolutely love. Any summers, you ask them, all of these shades are ones that are just must-haves, and they tend to be best-selling shades as well. So you'll notice like all of these shades are top sellers in their category.
Yeah, and I highly recommend, if you're even thinking about, upgrading your look for when this quarantine business is over, or when people aren't sheltering in place anymore, I would encourage you to go pick up these shades on the website immediately, because they're to die for, and you probably want to get yourself all pulled together before you go out again.
Mm-hmm. And then the last two things that I wanted to bring up, because it's something that we tend to forget, which is our lips. They're one of the first areas to show signs of aging, and people really don't think about lip care as a skincare that needs to be on part of their regime on a daily basis. Mm-hmm. So if you use lip lift, you'll see we put 2 shades of our lip lift tints. So not only does it give you a flush of color, it also gives you the skincare that your lips need. So I wanted to make sure that you have your 2 options of your lip lift tint, blush and blackberry. Blackberry, I know we talk about a lot, just being that ultimate. It just gives your lips that depth, a bit cooler depth that just makes your skin and your eye, everything come together. It's such a gorgeous shade. I mean, the swatch does not do it justice versus what it looks like on. So if you are somebody that wants to just like head outside with just like a little bit, and you don't want to think about, doing a full makeup routine, grab the lip lifts. And blush, once again, it gives you that, just kissed look, but it's not like a bright red. It's just a creamy, soft tint. So if you're somebody that forgets about your lip care, which you should not, grab the lip lift tints, because you will just love them. You forget that you're doing a skincare regime when you apply your lip lift tints.
Mm-hmm. Without a doubt.
Mm-hmm. And then the last thing that I wanted to make sure, we talked about was a couple shades that really look great on a grayish summer. And in the middle, you'll see them. Yeah, and a lot of it was based off, what I love seeing you in, and also what I know are your favorites, because your favorites tend to be what look best on you. If you notice, you might say, oh, my favorite color is this, and it happens to be in your palette, because we all gravitate towards what looks good on us. So
I think we have this natural tendency. If somebody is ever, like, for example, you guys, I wore kind of a tealish color one day on our Wine About It.
Mhm.
All of you guys started complimenting me on that color. And
Mhm.
it wasn't a color I wear all the time, but I liked it. And then suddenly I'm buying everything in that color. So
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, we do tend to compliment us on things. But again, this family right here is such an easy go-to. And you see with these cosmetics and these colors, I mean, what a beautiful, harmonious palette that is.
And I also want to mention these came straight from the digital downloads. So if you are interested in finding out more shades that are within your palette, you can hop on over to Color Me Beautiful, and we have the Color Me Beautiful digital download available where you get all 48 shades. Now, these are only just a couple from that selection, but you still can get all of them in the digital download for summer as well.
Or, as we like to call it around the office, the instant palette. You get everything instantaneously.
Mhm. Yeah. So those palettes are amazing. They're brand new, and it's so funny. I'm going to bring us back on, but it's so funny because even our boss, the CEO of our company, was talking about how everyone was talking and just chattering in the
Yeah,
office.
he called it big buzz. It's a big buzz.
He left us a voicemail, and he's like, I hear everyone talking about it in the office. We're super excited. I mean, thank you for everyone who has purchased. I mean, it means so much, and we know now that we need to be doing more digital download things so you can have colors on the go and when you're shopping online. So you have taught us a very valuable lesson to make more content available for you.
And Sarah, you taught me about downloading the PDF reader on my phone. And
Mhm.
now that I'm looking at my digital palette on my phone, how it's so easy
Yeah.
to see everything all in one place, and I'm lifting it up to people. I was zooming with somebody. There you go, and I was, yeah, this will be beautiful, and so it's super. It is very cool. You've gotta try it.
If you're wanting to download it on your phone, if you just download a PDF reader, there's like a ton out there. All you have to do is open it. I use Adobe, and I just open it, and I can swipe through my PDF, download, and look at the colors. If I'm shopping online, I just bring up the app and go back and forth. I mean, it's awesome to have this. I can take it anywhere I go.
When you go somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, right now I'm not, not going anywhere.
Yeah, you can take it upstairs or downstairs.
And now we're moving on to our winter gray, which is salt and pepper. All right, so let's get Jamie Lee Curtis, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Jamie Lee Curtis is our salt and pepper gray. And if you look at the back of her hair, it's very dark, which she has the front, it's very light, white, crisp. And then the back, it's very salt and pepper.
Right. And she is somebody who embraced her gray early. And everybody just kind of followed her trend.
Now, once again, we have her in the same blush that we talked about last time, Sweet Appleberry, which is a little bit deeper. Winter's out there. If you're looking for a softer blush, Sweet Appleberry is perfect for you. And then also Frosted Watermelon. I know you showed up in Frosted Watermelon too. So it's still an amazing shade on if you're somebody that's cool and you want just a bit of color. Frosted Watermelon you will love. I know it's your favorite shade that we have. Is it your absolute favorite shade we have?
It depends on what I'm wearing. Like if I'm neutral, if you're like, you see she's wearing black, and if I'm wearing a gray, I wouldn't wear black, but if I'm wearing a gray, then it's the most color that I feel comfortable in. And for me, it's my red. But you see, it adds a touch of color, and yet, she can soften it a bit when she's wearing it, like a winter wardrobe. And somebody who has salt and pepper hair, they can wear all the jewel tones of a winter wardrobe and look amazing, just beautiful. And so you want to adjust your lipstick so that it's not clashing, that whatever it is that you choose to have people focus on, whether it's your overall look from head to toe, or if you want to really have your lips pop, that's how you make a decision.
Yeah. And I love the winter wardrobe. If I could be any season, I would probably be, well, no, I love being in autumn, but if I could, I would also love being a winter because I love, love, love the bright, bold lips that they have. It just does not do, or the colors, I love bright, bold colors, and it just doesn't look that great on me. But if you are a winter out there and you're rocking the salt and pepper gray, You get all of these bold, vivid colors to wear. You get red carpet. Oh, such an amazing blue-red base. I absolutely love that shade. Plum Sorbet is going to be your softer shade. So if you're somebody who doesn't wear as bold or bright lipsticks like Frosted Watermelon or Red Carpet, Plum Sorbet will look gorgeous on. It's like a softer, pinkier, has some shimmer in it.
That is your nude. That is the nude. If equivalent, you don't want to go into the browns. They're soft, but Plum Sorbet would be your alternative to a nude.
And then we also brought in a deeper blush, which is Soft Plum. Lucky you get to wear just a gorgeous, rich blush as well. In your eyeshadows, we kept the same because these are best sellers for cools. So if you're a summer or a winter, these always are hot sellers. So
if I could add to that, generally, if you're gray, if you're salt and pepper gray, you're mature. You're a mature woman. Although, these days everybody is rocking the gray. Everybody wants our gray. So you'll see it a lot on young folks. But for the most part, if you're a natural salt and pepper silver fox, you will find that if you stay away from the harsher eyeshadows that winters can wear, winters can wear a deep, dark gray, and winters can wear bold eyeshadows. But as we age, you do yourself a favor by softening the shadow that you wear.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've also noticed if you do have more mature eyes, it can become difficult to do things with darker eyeshadows, like looks with darker eyeshadows. It's really hard. Like it could fall into fine lines. It could just almost brush off a little bit. So I do love just lightening the look a little bit. And it's also the same thing with eyeliner. I know it was big back in the day to wear like really dark eyeliner around your entire eye. But if you
still big.
Well, if you keep it to the top, your eyeliner only to your top lid, it helps lift it. But when you do it on the bottom, it drags you down.
Yeah.
So that's just another quick tip.
That's a great tip, because if I put liner on my lower lid, whether I have bags under my eyes or not, it makes it look like I have bags under my eyes, and it makes the under part of my eyes look dark. So, whereas I think you could wear a liner on your lower lid just fine, but not me. And I think primarily it's because that I'm a more mature woman and I don't want to drag my face down. I wear it on the outer corners, the outer 1/3 of my eyes, wear an eyeliner.
Yeah, that's a great tip. And I know, I mean, I hate to say like, don't do this, don't do that, because you can do whatever you want. But these are just quick little tips that kind of elevate instead of pulling down if you are looking to look younger. It's the same with like adding a highlight to the inner corner of your eyes. It brightens the inner corner so it doesn't look like you have as dark under eyes and things like that. So do you have to follow these? No, but these are just tips that will help kind of lift your eye area and make it a little bit brighter. And the last two things, of course, lip lift. I know we always talk about it, but it is so important to treat your lips because it's something we all forget about. We need to actually, we do our skincare routine on our face, but we always forget about our lips. And lip lift is the skin conditioner for your lips. So if you're somebody that doesn't do it, you should. And here's the easiest way I can think of is to do it in a tint. So we have our blush lip lift tint, which looks gorgeous. It's a little bit of a bluer red, but still you get that just kissed look to your lips. And Blackberry looks phenomenal on a winter.
It looks phenomenal on anybody. Frankly, I got to tell you, I've seen some autumns wearing Blackberry. Sarah, don't you wear Blackberry sometimes?
I do. Now, the thing with Blackberry is it has a brownish base as well. So I feel like on my lips, which happen to be naturally a little bit warmer, it kind of pushes that brown in the warm direction. But if you have a cooler lip tone, it pushes it into a cooler,
more plummy.
Yeah, it goes plum.
I get a plum look.
Yeah, one way goes towards the plummier look, and then the other way goes towards more a brownie. Oh, brownies, yum. Brownie look.
Oh man, brownies would be so good.
Yeah. It's lunchtime, so the moment I said brownie, I was like, yeah, I'm kind of hungry right now.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And lastly were these amazing winter shades that we dropped in the middle, once again straight out of the digital color palettes. So if you're interested in getting all 48, download the digital color palette. But here's just a couple we picked out that look awesome, awesome, awesome on a winter. I mean, I absolutely love a winter in that pine shade. I think it's because green is one of my favorite colors, but seeing a winter in like that just rich green, you winters out there look gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous in that shade. And then
I have my own preference. I
know what you're gonna say. Are you ready? I'm gonna guess.
I love a winter in Chinese blue because it is so stunning.
Yes. Blue, yes, Chinese blue looks so great on a winter. I mean, we really pick the shades that just whenever we see somebody that we always just kind of like are breathtaking by, these are the shades. Plum, gorgeous. Hot pink, another one is great. And cranberry, love all of these shades. There is something that I can't quite rock, but I can rock a version of it being in autumn. So yes, winter's out there. You guys look amazing in these shades. All right. Now I'm going to bring us back because we have one last gray to talk about. And this one's an interesting gray, and there are not a lot of people out there with this type of gray. But we had to mention it.
But if you were a former summer, if you were a former autumn, and you haven't quite gotten to the complete lack of saturation where you're not reading red or gold highlights in your hair, and your hair is kind of between, like in some light, people might think you're blonde, like an ash blonde, and in other light that you're rocking the gray. You got the gray, but it's right there on the cusp. This is something that I call soft gray or warm gray, and Sarah calls it gray.
All right, so, and I think when I was doing some research on this warm gray, some of the people I found who went through this phase were Meryl Streep was somebody who I believe went through this warm gray phase, where some of it, like she still had her golden tone, but it was like halfway there and she hadn't fully gone gray, but she still had some gold in her hair. And that's who I always think about. So with this warm gray, we have two swatches because I couldn't find a current celebrity who was in this actual phase. Like, I mean, people go through it, but then it seems to be they kind of get out of it. And if you look, they have this like golden tint to it. So you have things like that top left swatch, you can see a lot of gold in there, but they also have that there's hairs that are just no saturation or color to them whatsoever.
You know who I also see in this a lot, this kind of hair color, is Diane Keaton.
Mm-hmm.
She had that warm kind of vibe going on.
Mm-hmm. I just couldn't, when I was trying to find a celebrity, I couldn't find anyone from like 2020 who was in this phase. And I wanted to keep it current. And I had a hard time finding a celebrity who was in this warm gray phase. So if you have anybody who is currently in the warm gray phase as a celebrity, or that you can leave them in the comments, because I just could not think of anyone. That's why I did hair swatches.
What's interesting to think about, or what's interesting to look at, remember Meryl Streep in some shows like Devil Wears Prada, when they made her hair completely white, she was a winter at that point. She could wear black and she could wear jewel tones and she could wear, but if you look at her in,
I think Mamma Mia, she was kind of golden.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it completely changed her look. I mean, dramatically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's why it's so hard to find somebody in this phase, but there are just little slight variations that kind of throw you off. So if you are an autumn who is transitioning to gray, you kind of might be going in this phase, or spring transitioning to gray, you're going to be in this phase as well. But if you're a winter or summer, you're staying a winter or summer. So don't worry about that. If you're a cool tone person, you're not going to hit this phase.
Yeah, you can't reach out and grab the hairs in that assortment of hair that you have that will go warm again. Those are not there anymore.
Mm-hmm. So just to bring up a few shades that absolutely love on a spring chili lipstick. You guys know one of my favorites. Love chili lipstick. And Playful is another one. It's bright, it's bold, but it's like more pinky undertones to it. So you have one that's a rich, vibrant, reddy orange, and then you have one that's a pinky orange undertone. So those are the two lipsticks that we pulled out to really focus on with our warm grays. And then we also have Cedar Rose Blush. You guys know I talk about it all the time. You probably want me to stop, but Cedar Rose Blush, my favorite blush. Love, love, love that shade. It's the equivalent to Soft Rose, so it's a soft, light blush, but it's with that warm undertone instead of the cool undertone. So it's the same hue level, but it's just warm, cool kind of. And then we have...
Now, go ahead. Sorry. Oh, well, I was going to say, as you're looking at these swatches, how do you know if you're a warm gray versus a cool gray?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that the best way to tell is to look for any bit of red or gold highlight in your hair. And I'm not talking about brassiness. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about your former hair color. Essentially, if you were a blonde and you're still seeing a bit of blonde in there, that makes you a warm gray.
Right, right. Yeah, but if you have no red or gold in there, then you're still cool. You're not switching around seasons. You're straight and simple for you guys.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So look for those just hints of the former golden blonde here.
Mm-hmm. So the eyeshadows that we decided to do were, once again, best-selling eyeshadows, but for our warm seasons. So Ballet Pink eyeshadow, Molten Milk, and Teal Zeal. These are bestsellers in the warm, and I mean, these shades are awesome. They look so good on a spring. You have that warm Molten Milk shade. You have that bright teal, and bright teal can be worn by everyone. It's just whenever you talk to a spring, you will know that Teal Zeal is one of their favorite shades just because it looks so good. It's so vibrant. And I feel like springs tend to wear a lot of teals. And it just
if I could add to your comment there, I think Teal Zeal is one of those shades that you need to be careful with, in the sense that you choose to use a little less of that. The Molten Milk, cover your eyelid with it, and you will have the bluest eyes you've ever seen in your life. There's something about the complementary shades of that and blue and gray, bluish green eyes that it just makes them pop.
I was going to bring up mine picture really quickly because I'm wearing Molten Milk right now. I'm wearing Ballet Pink as the base, and then I'm wearing Molten Milk on top of it. So hopefully you guys can see
the brightness there. It really makes the color look bright. Now, Sarah has gray eyes, and sometimes they look a little nice. Sometimes they look a little blue, and sometimes they look a little green, but they're on the gray side. Look at how it really makes the eye look vibrant. So we love that. The way that I would use Teal Zeal with this is a little bit as a line, line the eye with it, or in the outer corner, because you want to be careful about putting it all over your entire lid. But just a little hint of that will make your color pop. You'll be blown away.
So now that you've got to see two of the shades on here and talk about Teal Zeal, we now get to move on to lip lift. Like I mentioned before, use your skincare for your lips. I'm going to say this every single time.
Use it.
Yes, people, oh man, I want to emphasize it is so important to be using skincare for your lips because it is another reason that people can tell the signs of aging, and people just do not take care of their lips well at all. You should never have them be chapped or dry. So lip lift is the answer, and it also is the answer if you're just running out to the store and don't want to wear lipstick. So my ultimate favorite lip lift petal, love that shade. It has
beautiful.
Oh, such a good shade. Lip petal. Yeah, if you guys don't have it, you need it. And 14K is another one of those. And 14K, there's a trick about 14K. If you forget like a highlighter or something, you could use it as a highlighter as well because it just has a hint of golden shimmer to it. So if you're somebody who doesn't use a highlighter, you can use 14K in substitute. Or like me, where I hate carrying around, like if I'm going someplace, I love to have just some highlighter with me. So what I don't like to do is carry around like a giant powder compact. I like to just have something small that I can take with me. So I carry 14K in my to-go bag or in my pocket. That's another side tip.
Yeah, and if I can throw something out there about 14K, 14K is not a gold color. It is a rose gold color. And the reason that I mention that is, again, we're offering this up as something beautiful for warm grays, but I use it as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you how I use it. If I have a lip color that I think for me is too bright, it's a little too vivid, and I just tone it down a hint, this makes the perfect diffusion layer on top of a really brilliant lipstick. Let's say you went out and bought something and you thought it was going to be incredible, but then, when you put it on, it was just a little too much. 14K lip tint on top of that is the answer.
Mm-hmm. We should do a demo so everyone can see what the 14K looks like, the actual bullet of 14K versus what it looks like on like a tissue, for instance. But I was just looking to see if I had one around me, but it's really interesting because if you look at the bullet, it looks golden, but when you actually swatch it, it has a very pinky undertone.
Yeah. It's got that rose gold happening. So frankly, I think, even Summers can wear it a little bit because these earrings I'm wearing, they're silver and they're rose gold. And I think, you can blend that in a little bit without worrying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Good point. Yeah. I'll try to remember to do that next one about it, or maybe Friday. I might just go on a side topic and do that demo really quickly. So if you're interested in seeing that, join us. I'll try to do it Friday. Hopefully I'll have 14K. We'll do it then. And last thing, warm grays should be wearing shades we love on a warm gray. Peach, taupe, light aqua, like teal and violet. I had to throw in the teals and those light aquas because they look so good on a spring gray. And you love those colors as well. You love that kind of teal.
I do. My teals tend to be a little cooler. Warm gray, their teals and their aquas might shift a little more toward the green side, but there's a teal and an aqua pretty much for every season. And when you find the right one, talk about making you look youthful. What a great color to just really, and the reason for that is a complementary color to skin tone. So if you're putting that color against your skin, you're going to see that your skin tends to look more radiant, more youthful, more full of life. So I love that color. I do. But all of these will make you look younger and full of life. And so rock your gray. Love your gray.
And if you just joined on, you'll hear me say this again. If you've been on, these shades are pulled straight from the digital download. So if you're interested in all 48 shades that are good for a spring, you can head on over to Color Me Beautiful and download the digital color palettes for you. And these shades, look, I love this grouping of colors together. It's such a spring grouping, and I absolutely love it.
Well, what's so good? You mentioned the digital color palette. Let's say you buy a skirt and the skirt is in your palette, or you choose the taupe. Well, the nice thing about the digital color palette is if you want to find a blouse for that skirt and you want to go solid and solid, it's absolutely a piece of cake to look in your palette and say, well, I could go with a soft white here, or wow, this peach looks really good with this. And it's very fashion forward, and you look like a stylist when you put your outfit together that way.
Yeah, love that. I do. So now I'm going to hide that and get it out of our way. So we're now back with you guys. And if you have any questions, let us know in the comments. So I'm going to run through them really quickly and make sure we got everything. I'm so sorry. Let's see. Oh, you know what? That's something we forgot to mention is what's the other gray that's a winter? So salt and pepper and
pepper and white, because when their hair is aging, when you're aging and your hair is going through the stages of going from gray to white, it'll start out with a lot of the black color, a lot of the dark brown, that dark ash brown, and then you'll add white. And as you add more and more white, it becomes more salt and pepper, more salt and pepper, and then a lot of times it becomes a lot of salt, a little bit of pepper, and eventually it goes to white.
So I'm just running through comments. I shared on my thank you, Bonnie. We really appreciate that.
We absolutely appreciate you sharing these.
Holly McBride Masterclass sounds amazing. I cannot wait to do it. We're going to have so much fun in it. Being African American women, I wear brown eyeliner instead of black to eliminate the shadow. Oh,
that is so smart. Yes.
That is genius, Deborah Jackson. That is such a good idea.
And Deborah, I've seen some of Deborah's before and afters recently with her clients. She is something else.
Yeah. I've been using Lip Lift for a month now. It is really lovely. Almost don't need lips. You will love Lip Lift. Yes, it is a hero product. 2 years in a row. It has won Best Lip Care for 2019, 2018. Yes, so Lip Lift, must have skincare for your lips. It's something.
And this isn't just in our little world of Color Me Beautiful, it's best. This is best for QVC and their clients, their customers. Mm-hmm. This was the best. They picked it as the best.
Mm-hmm. We have another warm gray comment. She shined in light clear colors. She was a spring though. Yes, spring. Those warm grays, they're so interesting because it's so hard and you're kind of in limbo. How did you go from being your warm gray to your cool gray? How did you know?
It knew. I mean, one day I looked at my hair and I said, look, there's no longer any red or gold in my hair. It's just gone. Mm-hmm. If you can see.
Yeah.
No red or gold. Mm-hmm. And from the white in the front to the very dark color that I have in the back, as you can see, not dark, but darker color that I had in the back. I know that you would find from time to time maybe one red hair, and that went from being, a lot of that auburn color kind of mixed into the one red hair, and then I was a summer. Uh-huh. Now going to a summer, one of the things that makes it so easy is both seasons are soft. Autumns are a soft season, mm-hmm. and summers are a soft season. Your hair is auburnish, reddish. My hair is grayish. And so we've got that soft thing going for us. So some of the colors, believe it or not, that you can wear, I can wear. They're in my palette and mm-hmm. vice versa. So it has to do with the softness. Now, with winters, they are bold and they are vivid and they are contrasty. Mm-hmm. So you don't see gray going from like a summer gray to a winter gray. That doesn't really happen.
Yeah. Yeah, that's understandable.
Unlike Meryl Streep, they dye your hair white, because that girl, she went to a completely different palette.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Meryl Streep. Because I was trying. She's one of like the perfect people that can rock a gray, but I couldn't find something that was constant. She was either like a warm gray, or she completely, for Devil Wears Prada, stripped everything out, so she was completely white. So it was hard to find something that was consistent. And and with celebrities, they dye their hair so much, and there's certain celebrities that some highlights they get are warm, some are very cool, and they strip it out completely. I mean, it's so hard with celebrities because they're constantly changing their hair.
But if you're a student of color like we are, and I think you're here because you're a student of color, one mm-hmm. of the things, a great exercise is to go through and look at different celebrities' careers and where their hair color was over the career and what clothing they were wearing at the time that they changed their hair color. Another great one to look at is Helen Mirren, who went from being a strawberry blonde, and then as her hair changed, her entire wardrobe changed, and it's a fun exercise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. And love the eyeshadow, Sarah. Thank you so much, Holly. Ballet Pink and Molten Milk. I think I said that earlier. So, and then I wish I could wear 14K. 14K, love 14K lip lift. If you're try switching up with the different tints, you'll really find, the bullets look so bright and bold, but when you actually get them on the lips, they are stunning and gorgeous. You'll love them. I'll see if I can find all the lip lift tint shades. I'll try to do that for Friday as well.
Trisha, have you tried the 14K?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's just too warm for you.
Love. I'll bring, on Friday, I'll try to have all of the tints that we have available so we can swatch them for you guys. I really enjoyed your YouTube videos about skincare. Trish, join us Friday at noon for skincare. So come back Friday at noon so you can do skincare. And if you have any ideas on if you want to learn something, if there's an ingredient you want to know about, let us know so we can do it. Love your earrings, Lucinda.
Thank you. I've started making jewelry in my season, and when I get out of this place, when I get out of my quarantine, it's not a quarantine because I'm not sick, but whatever they call it. I've got some autumns done for Sarah, and I've got some springs done and to share. So I'm digging it. I like doing this.
Fun fact about you make jewelry and you paint. The painting behind her right now, she actually painted. So hopefully if you guys could see it, it's like this really great, like, it almost reminds me of like Italy. She painted. Love. Yes. we hope everyone is safe and, stay safe, stay healthy. We really appreciate you guys coming on, and we will keep doing this, and hopefully
Yeah, keep sharing us.
sane. Yes, and we hope we can keep you sane and happy, and we'll be back here Friday at noon to talk skincare, right?
Yeah.
So if you guys have any questions or skincare ideas that you want to talk about, let us know in the comments below. We will be happy to do that. And I guess cheers. This is our final cheers.
Yeah. Cheers.
Ding. All right. And for our next Wine About It, we will see you on Wednesday. All right. Bye.
Bye.